Live from Owings Mills, Maryland, it's the Max Fortune Show. Whether it's becoming a success by achieving your dreams and goals, growing your business, or unlocking your full potential, the Max Fortune Show specializes in helping you maximize your fortune. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Max Fortune Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Max Fortune Show. I am Max Fortune, your host for the show. For those of you who are not familiar, I'm an author, publisher, book coach, and a business consultant. And by my side is my co-host, Joe Farina, back from vacation.
I'm back.
How was that vacation?
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. I highly recommend it to everyone. Go on a vacation.
It's good. It's good stuff. So Joe's the director of sales and marketing at Fortune Publishing Group, and who's owned multiple businesses, and both online and offline, including retail stores in the sports supplement industry. He's also a highly skilled entrepreneur.
I heard about that.
Yeah. And a personal development specialist. Who's had his work published both in book and magazine form. And so again, glad to have you back.
Thanks, Max. Glad to be back, my friend. All right.
Show wasn't the same without you.
Well, and it wasn't one. Listen, I missed it. I was actually on vacation when Thursday rolled around. I missed it. But again, the Max Fortune Show, you get back in the saddle here, back in. The Max Fortune Show is recorded live, and we have calls coming in via phone, and you can also message us on social media. And if you haven't yet, we'd like you to like our fan page, Ask Max Fortune. And you can also check us out. Where at, Max, on YouTube? Max Fortune Show.
Right.
What?
Max Fortune Show.
Amazing what's happening when you take a week off.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, so you can check us out there, and you can call in. We would love you to call in and interact with the show at 844-220-2266, and that's to speak with myself or Max. And we'd love to hear from you. And as always, the best caller who contributes in either via phone or on social media and gives us a great question to contemplate and answer, one of you will win 3 exciting days, 2 fun-filled nights to a destination of your choice. Compliments of the Max Fortune Show.
There you go.
So you can also email our producer at maxfortuneshow@gmail.com, and we'd be more than happy to get back to you with any comments or questions. Max, the floor is yours.
Where's mine? Thank you. Today, we are going to be talking about how to publish a book. And we're actually on our segment, How to Publish a Book and Make a Fortune. As you know, our set has been changed, and we got some new props up here.
Yeah, we're moving on.
And so on our How to Publish a Book and Make a Fortune segment, and again, what we try to do is a couple of different segments. So last week we were talking about Get Rich in Your Niche and helping you, the small business owners out there, grow your business. And so what we do, what we're doing this week is for those authors out there, those people who are aspiring to write your book, we're going to focus today, as we do several times on our show, really talk about how to publish your book and make a fortune. And we're actually going to, this segment, we're going to focus on marketing your book. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, how you can market your book. And, you know, what happens with many authors, I mean, it's something that plagues a lot of authors out there. It's marketing isn't just usually a native skill that most authors have. And so it's definitely important information that you need to know when it comes to marketing your book. There's so many books that come out every year, and you want to make sure yours stands out among the crowd of books that get published. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on today, is helping you market your book, helping you to give you some ideas on how you can grow your following for your book. So again, hopefully you enjoy the show. Before we get into it, make sure you share this show with somebody that you know who's working on a book or is interested in writing a book. Share it with them. Like the page, as Joe said. And definitely make sure you comment in. Let us know you're out there. Let us know you're watching, and let us know what you think of some of the information that we have. And so we'll be looking forward to that.
Great. And so you wrote a book, and now the marketing piece comes in. And one of the ways that you can actually do that I think we can talk about, Max, is the author press kit and getting out there. Publicity is gold, and it is a wonderful tool to have. And you can literally build your own author press kit and get that out to communicate with different media outlets. It's a great way to get the word out about the book that you have written, and marketing is such a huge part of it. I think you'll agree, right?
It is. It's definitely a huge part of the show. And with the author press kit, I'm not stealing your thunder there, but it's really it's going to be kind of it's like almost like a resume for you as an author.
No, good.
And it's comprised of a couple of different things as far as your bio, your picture, information about your book. But it's kind of like your first step of marketing your book. So you want to make sure your press kit is going to be kind of comprised of things that you want to get out there about your book, that the media can use, they can take and create some marketing ideas or some marketing ideas or whatever.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you have a good press kit together. Again, it includes your bio. It includes having things like your headshot, a one sheet about your book, how many pages it is, where people can find it, your website if you have a website. So lots of different information is found in the press kit. And then again, even FAQs are really good things to have in there. It's just information that you want the media to have about your book and you as an author.
Yeah. So I mean that's great information. That author press kit is really like a resume. It's really explaining, and your press release is really I would think it's the equivalent of a grand opening message. You're coming out with the unveiling of your work that you're bringing out to the world, and so that is a huge thing. So you just think about that. Put yourself in the mindset of your author press kit is like your resume, and your press release is like your coming out message, your grand opening message that you're getting out to those media outlets. So
With your press kit, again, it may be requested by retailers, so you want to make sure you have all that information there. Actually, it can be requested by the retailers, book bloggers, event planners, editors, anyone who might have interest in you as an author or the topic of your book. So you want to make sure that your press kit is actually very easy to read, easy to follow, and not like my tablet right here because it's not following the page. Hopefully you're seeing us fine out there on the show. Okay, so maybe
technology freezes every now and again.
Yeah, so I think I'm just having it. But we still welcome those comments.
We'll get them coming in.
Call in to the show.
Get them coming in. So Max, in light of what's going on over there, how does social media play into marketing your book? I know that it's obviously a wonderful tool to get the message out and get people excited about your book project. It allows people to share your book project through social media. What has been your experience and what are your thoughts on that?
I think social media creates such an amazing, diverse way of promoting your book out there. There's so many different ways. I mean, it's really kind of your first wave of marketing, something that you can simply do organically, but I definitely recommend also having professionals help you craft your image, because again, your social media is some of the first things people see about you and how people learn about you and who you are, and being able to kind of get used to it, and people, or your style. And it's kind of like where you post your personal brand. So social media is very, very critical. It's important, and it's your way of the beginning of having people connect with your book. So I would definitely recommend you starting with having a professional cover photo created for your page. If you're using Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, those type of things are really important. So a lot of times I see people's Facebook page and they will have, a photo that's not really cropped, it's kind of half cut off, and so you want to take some time. Remember, first impressions are lasting impressions, so you want to make sure that when people get to your Facebook page or your Instagram page or whatever, that there's a great cover photo there that kind of explains what you are with your book. A copy of your book would be probably nice, but one that's not cut off or that they're only seeing half of the message there. Mm-hmm. So
I like to add on the social media side is obviously we all know, it's 2017, we know the power of social media. Every one of you out there who's on this Facebook Live obviously is aware of social media. And you brought up something about getting professional stuff done. And there's really two ways of doing it. And you authors out there, aspiring authors or individuals who have written a book and now you're looking to market, there's really two ways of doing it. Either do it yourself and you try to figure that out. If you're really skilled in social media, outstanding. Yeah. But do not overlook the power of outsourcing some of that work, because you can take on way too much. You ever hear that saying, jack of all trades, master of none? Mm-hmm. And too often I see it. People struggle trying to fumble and bumble their way through figuring out something that really it's a phone call away, and it might not cost as much as you would think.
Right.
And knowing is half the battle, as G.I. Joe said. So I just want to encourage everybody out there to definitely look, when you look at social media, look at outsourcing some of that stuff. Ask questions. It doesn't hurt to ask questions. There's a lot of professionals out there that offer those services, really, that do a great job of, well, you know all about that, the marketing side of it, do a great job of that. So don't be afraid to outsource. Don't be afraid to ask those questions, right?
I agree with you. You're messing up.
Well, that's good. I'm sorry.
So, you know, as we're talking about social media and the importance of that, again, it's your first introduction to most of the people who are going to read, your readers, your audience. And so there's also, as you're kind of putting that together, it's always also good to have a sample of author Q&A. And what that Q&A, questions and answers, that almost goes back to the press kit that we talked about earlier at the top of the show. Was one thing that you want to do is you want to make it easy for someone to interview you. So you can come up with your own common questions that you would like to be asked by the media, and you have the benefit of creating the answers to those. And a lot of times you can be interviewed by the media just without them having to physically talk to you. They can actually take bits and pieces of your questions and answers and kind of craft together a article about you and put it out there. And if you have a press kit that's ready, we also, I don't know if we're going to talk about this today, and we may talk about this a little bit later on, is electronic press kit. You know, your press kit should be in electronic form, something that's really easy to get to, possibly hosted on your website if you have one. If you don't, call Fortune Publishing Group. We can help you get that. And we can also help you put together your author presentation kit. If you do have a book that's coming out there, or you're still working on your book, definitely call Fortune Publishing Group. And that number is 844-417-4177. And we'll be glad to help you craft your brand, even if you're not publishing through us. We love it if you were, but if not, we'd definitely be able to still help you with that. But the Q&As, again, are just a way for you to get information in front of people, and for people to kind of learn more about you very simply, because you got questions and answers, questions that you would want people to ask, and it just kind of begins to start the narrative of interviewing in that process.
Sure. And as we throw out these different little nuggets for marketing, I want to reiterate and go back to the core foundation: value, value, value. Your marketing really should be bringing value. So your press kit should be bringing value. Your whole mission is to get the word out about your product or service, and do that in the most valuable way to your target market and consumer base. And when I say outsourcing, the reason why I'm a big fan of that is hiring professionals and building people around you, is because those people are experts in their respective area. You and I met as you being an expert as a book coach and book publisher. Well, that's invaluable information. That is your wheelhouse. That's your strong suit. And I think bringing people in to your circle of influence that are experts in their respective areas and finding ways to work with them is so vital to success. And it's vital to bringing value, putting your best foot forward. And one of the ways of doing that is hiring a publicist. So if you have your book either being completed now, or you want to write a book, or your book is already written and you're kind of stuck in well, how do I go any further with this? How do I get the message out? Look at hiring a publicist. Yes, and you and I were just talking earlier about the advantages of having that. and what a publicist can really do. And if you're a person who really wants to get your message out on a bigger stage, I would have to think that a publicist is a very, very valuable tool.
I definitely agree with you there. And a publicist, what they're going to do is they're going to take your work, they're going to find the best places that your particular book will do well. They're going to help you. A good publicist will help you find TV appearances, radio appearances, even social media campaigns, help you structure that kind of a thing. And as Joe was saying, you don't want to discount the getting good help, because putting your book together just requires a lot of information, a lot of hard work. And I see so many authors get to the point where that's kind of where they just stop putting in the creativity, the work, the effort, and the money. And it takes it's going to take a concerted effort for you to publish that book, to get it out there. And a publicist is really a good idea to really make sure you're putting into your budget a publicist that can help you really get your work out there and get it in front of the right people and the right audience, because that's what a good publicist will do. Mm-hmm. And what I will say, there's all kinds of different way publicists work. And my best recommendation, and this is the challenge with publicists, sometimes some publicists work and you're paying whether they get your work or not. And so where you understand, I understand that industry, that they have to do work and they not guarantee, but there's so many publicists out there. There are publicists out there will work only when they get you work. And those are some of the ones that you really want to seek out, especially if you're a new author. I've countless stories, and unfortunately mine is one of them. With my first book, I mean, I paid, I think, a couple $1,000s for a publicist to get. I got one appearance in New York to do some things, and it just wasn't worth it just wasn't worth the money that I was putting out. And a lot of times their contracts are stating that they get paid whether they get you anything or not, and you have to pay them months. So you just want to really do some research on hiring publicists. I definitely think it's very, very critical. It's very important to have one, but you want to find the right one. And if you want to do so, I'm going to probably sound like an infomercial every time, because we have access to lots of different publishers that will work, or publicists rather, that will work for you in a way that will help you get your information out there and your message out there. And they're the ones we focus on and work with are the ones that are not going to charge you per month just for working on your, or just for potentially working on your, or allegedly working on your work. You need to see some results.
Return on investment.
That ROI. It's really critical and important.
It is huge. And I think if you've been in the personal development world at any point, you've heard, have a dream, form a team. And so a publicist is a vital part of your team. Everybody you bring into your sphere that you're going to seek wisdom and counsel from, or expertise, or hire, is a part of your team. And where I see so many people fail to meet the expectations that they've set for their projects in the book world especially, but it goes outside of the book world as well, is because they try to take on everything like a small business minded person. If it's going to be, it's up to me. And if you want something done right, do it yourself. Well, guess what? If you've got the time and you've got the skills and you've got the talent to do the job of 6 or 7 people, absolutely knock yourself out. But I believe there's a better way, and that's bringing in professionals that their sole job, their skin in the game, is getting you results. So a publicist is one of those that has skin in the game. And like Max said, doesn't hurt to ask questions and negotiate. When you're partnering with anyone like a publicist, and we've got some very good ones in our Rolodex, you want to have that conversation. Does that publicist have the connections and the resources to meet the needs that you are looking for? And that's a conversation. Yeah. And it's a negotiation to match you with that other individual, because at the end of the day, it is return on investment. And I think that's the best thing I could suggest to everyone is, do not be afraid to form a team, to get out there and ask questions, get clear on what you want, and then go out there and find some people that can help you get to where you want to go. It just makes all the difference in the world. It really does.
And you know what? It's kind of dovetails perfectly into the next segment where we talk about pitching TV and radio
I
stations.
tend to do that a lot.
Yeah, you do. And the cool thing about that is, I mean, if you have the right publicist, they will prepare you for pitching TV and radio. And a lot of times they will prepare the pitch and do the pitch for you because really that's what their job is. But if you are not working with a publicist, so we're kind of giving you, we're saying, yes, you're probably going to want to have a publicist. That's going to be very, very critical. But let's say you are not able to work with a publicist for whatever reason, or don't work with a publicist. There's still other things you could do to get your book broken and get it out there on the market. And one of those things is pitching TV and radio. And what a pitch is really just a quick conversation or a quick, I'm going to, actually, I'm not going to go there because I'm seeing we're going to talk about that in a moment.
Good.
But pitches is really just a quick conversation you can have. It has to be something really quick. It has to get the eye or the attention of the person that you're trying to reach. And a lot of times a pitch for TV and radio almost works a little bit like how somebody fashions their resume. You know, I think even in the resume world, in the work world, people do the resume thing wrong. They don't fashion that objective part of the resume to the job that you're looking for. And so that's always a mistake, or it's not, it should be your resume, like your pitch should make it seem like it's tailor-made for the audience that you're pitching. So you wouldn't pitch TV the same thing you would pitch radio, or the same way. And you always want to speak to how your work will help their audience obtain something, because again, they're not in the job or the business of helping you sell your book. They're really, the media's job is really to help you, or to really help their audience get some value. As Joe likes to say, value.
Value.
So that's what the media's job is. It's not to promote your book. And I think so many authors get this wrong, or they kind of get the wrong impression from that. And any publicist would let you know that, hey, the media's out there to serve their audience. And if you can bring something that can help serve their audience, that's how you get on a show. Yep. And so you want to kind of go in with that mind frame. So, just that's really what you want to do.
Yeah. Well, I'd have to ask you, Max, in light of all that stuff, with the pitch and the media, where does book signings come into play with all that?
You know what? Book signings come 2 sections down for me.
I know.
But the book signings are very important. If you got a book, you definitely want to get out there, meet your audience, meet people up front, meet people face to face. And so book signing is very, very critical. It's kind of like it's like having a party for your book. Get out there, meet people, get to sign books for people, get to hear what people thought about it if they've got your book prior to. But a book signing is very, very important. And a lot of times people will buy just from that connection that you have at a signing with someone. And people want to kind of, when they can, they want to be able to know the author or get a chance to greet the author, meet the author for a book. So it just kind of helps from that standpoint as well. So I think...
which one do you feel, in your experience, should be done first? Say book signing or a pitching to the TV and radio stations? If you had to pick one, which one do you feel is trumps, or are they both equal?
Well, that's a great question, and I would say that what would be great is if you're a lot of times the media will cover or can cover a book signing per se, depending on, but usually that's for celebrities or people like that. But sometimes you can coordinate, I guess is the answer to that, to coordinate those things to come to happen together. The book signing is, I mean, there's lots of different ways, and it really depends on the person and the plan that you have. And you definitely do want to have a marketing plan and a marketing strategy for your book. And you want to kind of have these things in. And I'll say that for some books, and it depends on the subject matter, for some books, it may be better to have TV and radio, and as people are kind of hearing about you, then doing that book signing, or having that book signing and having a crowd of people coming to there, even inviting the media to that to cover that possibly. And it could be really the subject of your book. So whatever the subject matter of your book is, it may lead you, because it's that important, that the media will take attention and come out there and cover that. But I would say on a general rule of thumb, the media is not going to rush an average person's book signing unless they are a celebrity or politician or somebody of that nature. So you want to really carefully look at your own pitch and see, I'm saying your own pitch. You kind of want to carefully look at your own marketing plan, which includes a pitch. So you want to look at your marketing plan. So I would definitely strongly and highly expect you to do that, or think that would be critical.
And there is the point. And all of that is, you said plan. Throughout all this stuff, I think the important thing to remember is, as you finish your book project up, or you have a book project now, is to have that plan. And that's where sometimes professionals can come in and give you a roadmap of, okay, we're going to go out here, which is going to pitch to TV and radio stations, coincide that with around the time of a book signing is going to be, work some things to provide value to the radio station or the TV station, and time that out. And have that in a fluid process, so you're moving your project forward.
Correct.
Right? You're moving your project forward. That's the whole point of everything. You'll hear me harp on value, because that's the whole thing we're supposed to be bringing to the world. Nobody's going to buy anything from you unless they see value in it for themselves. And that's the thing we need to solve. So all this marketing, all this stuff is about providing value, providing value, providing value.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
It becomes much easier when you think that way.
We don't see any comments over here on the other end, so our producer's going to have to, if anybody is commenting out there, the producer's going to have to let us know, because I don't have it on my side, just to let you know. Okay. The other aspect, or another thing to focus on, and part of your marketing plan should be blogs, written blogs, and having a blog for your book or around your book. And here's the great thing: if you have a book already, a lot of what you'll blog about will be what's in your book. And so having that book makes it so much easier to blog. It's not extra work. You now get to kind of maybe take a certain segment of your book and blog about that, write about that little by little, put that out there. And even, it's nothing wrong with releasing some of the overlying tones, or the tones of your book in a blog. And like, again, a lot of times putting that information out that you have that, it makes it easy. Having a book already makes it easy to have a blog. And honestly, the reverse also works. There's a lot of people who are bloggers out there, and a lot of times you can take those blogs and turn those into a book. So blogging and writing for your book, those are two things that work really, really well. If you are an author, if you're writing, then definitely blogging is important. If you are a blogger, then you should have a book. You should be putting all of those blogs together and creating a book out of that. So I do want to, however or whatever area you're in, make sure that your blogs are written, and that you are focusing on a blog. So I would definitely say that should be a part of your marketing strategy. Your marketing plan should include writing a blog, especially as an author. So
sure. And then write about what people who've read your book, or going to read your book, might enjoy. Write based on that. That's another way of really using your content you've already created to write a blog. And as you said, if you've already are a blogger, you can take that blog content and then put it into a book and really have another value-based revenue stream or marketing piece that you can use. So I just want to recap real quick that what we've covered.
okay. And
So we've covered marketing as in social media stuff. We've gone over hiring a publicist. We've talked about pitching on TV and radio stations. We've talked about book signings. We're up to the blog now, and and if you notice the theme there, it's just different ways of getting in front of people and providing value, getting the message out.
Yes,
Right?
really
Getting the
important.
message out. And being excited about it. Your marketing, anything you do marketing-wise, should have a sense of excitement. I firmly believe that.
And so, you know what, I do want to Park at Home. I don't know what your real name is, but on our Instagram page, they're saying they love that "Have a Dream, Form a Team" slogan. So, yeah. So
Well, thank
you for that. Yes, for that comment. And anybody else who has some comments for us, definitely continue to send us your comments. And as Joe was saying earlier, as far as the value thing, one of the big things you do want to do is you want to write for your readers. not necessarily for yourself, but you want to write stuff that your readers want to read and write for that audience. So that's critical. It's a great idea to share some book excerpts or excerpts from your book as you're writing your blog and as you're sending information. I think that's really critical because it kind of is a way to kind of give people some nuggets of information that could be part of the experience of kind of bringing somebody in or helping them to kind of connect with you. And that's where it really kind of turns into a book sale when somebody's connecting with you as the writer. So definitely want to keep your readers rather in mind as you're writing your blog, or as you even especially even as you wrote your book. Hopefully that was already happening, that you were writing for your readers, your audience. So it's very, very critical at the onset that you know who your audience, the people who are going to read your book, and that your book was written for them, and then your marketing should also be written for that same audience. So I think that's super critical and important for people to know and understand.
Yeah, and as you're writing this content, you can really use a lot of creativity in your marketing and writing blogs and stuff. And one of the ways of using that creativity is writing prequels. You know, giving the history of how you came about the content that you wrote about, some of the behind the scenes stuff, right, that is going on, maybe even some deleted scenes and some of the work that you've done and some of the lessons you've learned, and how some of the elements of your book, depending on what kind of topic that is, how that came to be. It doesn't matter really what it is. If it's a science fiction book, you know, what first got you fascinated with science fiction? What was that first movie you watched? Right. People want to know that because that's your target market. You're speaking their language, and that's what you want to remember. It's having that conversation, marketing to those people, writing in a pleasing and congruent way that matches your message.
I agree. And as you're putting together your writing, you want to kind of put some of the best writing you have out there possible. Yeah. Make your blog as awesome as possible. Make sure you have images that kind of depict the words that you're writing, because that is a lot of times a really great way to draw people in. And so you want to just make sure that even you have, as you're blogging about your book or your subject matter, that you actually give people ways to contact you, or get in touch with you through, maybe it's your email account or phone or however you want to be able to engage your audience. You want to make sure that as you're blogging, you're putting together your blog, that you're giving your audience an opportunity to connect with you in some way. That helps people to feel connected to your message and helps you to get connected with the people out there. And you know what? If you are even aspiring to write a book, a lot of times a blog is a great way to begin to build that audience, so that when the book comes out, now you already have an audience that you've been sharing information with, you've already been connecting with, and so now you have the opportunity to be able to connect with that audience, or to be able to give them or build that audience before you need to actually ask them for a sale. So that becomes super critical in there. So
dig your well before you're thirsty.
There you go.
Is that what you're saying?
I am saying that, exactly. Dig your well before
you're thirsty. Good one, Max. That's outstanding. So that's all part of really planning your strategy, and hopefully you have one. And I know we've thrown a lot of stuff out. It's all these little things. Little stuff. Again, the social media, all the different little blog ideas. It can seem a little overwhelming. You can pick and choose what you want out of that, the book signings and stuff. Just remember, everything is about getting that message out there, and a lot of this stuff you can outsource out, or bring other people into your team to really help you to bring some of this stuff to the bigger stage. Always keep that in mind as we're talking about this stuff, that this is not things you have to just do yourself. You can really bring people into the fold. So, yeah, and that's planning your strategy. Strategy is everything, right?
It really is.
Having a strategy and getting very clear on that, getting clear on the end game, and getting clear on what needs to happen in between. And I think the best explanation for having a strategy or having a plan is when you get in your car. If you've ever been lost and you do not know where you're at, and you've got a half a tank of gas or less, and you're kind of starting to panic, and you're like, I don't even know where I'm at, right? It gets you real panicky and gets you confused.
Yeah.
So you think about how you feel with that. That's really not having a plan, not having a strategy. Now imagine if you literally have a GPS, you've got a map, you've got a printout of where you need to be at, and you can tell you're on the right road. You've planned it out from where you're at and where you want to be at, and you know where you need to stop at, and you know where you need to go. how much more relaxed you are just by having a strategy and having a plan. And again, I want to emphasize, you do not have to figure out that plan solely by yourself. You can literally bring people into your team, either hiring them or partnering with them as a strategic partner to get that strategy as rock solid and as value driven as possible.
And so thank Barbara and SC out there for saying how informative this information is. So thank you out there for that. Thank you for your comments. Again, we do welcome comments that you have. If you have any comments, concerns, or questions even about marketing your book, we definitely would love for you to comment on the page or call into the show. That number is 844-220-2266.
Yes.
844-220-2266. You can call in for that. And you know what? As you're planning your strategy and putting all these things together, one of the main things you do want to do, as I mentioned even earlier with the blog, is you want to funnel readers into an advanced readers list if you can do that before. And a lot of times I think what happens a lot of times, Joe, people will put their marketing strategy together for their book after they wrote the book. And a lot of times you want to kind of start thinking about, if you're actually thinking about writing right now, you want to think about your strategy as you're writing the book, what kind of things you want to do for marketing. One of those things you should be working on is creating advanced readers list, a list of people who would get the copy, you would send a copy to an advance. So you want to kind of do things to kind of funnel your readers into that kind of an advanced reader copies list. So very important to do that in the process.
And you can organize a virtual book tour.
Correct. Yes.
Which is interesting. And now with technology, we can do all sorts of things that, again, having people that have gone before you, people that know how to do that, can turn you on to those things. And a virtual book tour is certainly one of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. And what happens is people can kind of tour your book or get a view of your book online and really kind of get some of the insights from your book. So again, you want to give people, your readers, lots of different ways to engage with your content. And so that definitely is one of those things. And one of the other ways you can do is every field has a niche, and every whatever your book is has a niche out there. And if you start focusing on reaching the niche of bloggers that surround your subject matter, you can begin to start building that rapport. And honestly, that's in turn those niche bloggers that are focused on your subject matter are where you could a lot of times do that virtual tour, a virtual book tour on those blog sites. So you can do a book signing or virtual book signing or virtual book tour on those sites that are there. And so very good with that. So Nicole Fortune, thanks for watching. It's always great when you're so she's saying, hey guys, I'm back. Okay, so she missed the last show, so I think I'm getting my messages now.
Great.
I'm getting these comments now. So hey Nicole, how are you? Nice to see you, even though I don't see you. But
Good. So I just want to remind everybody, 3 days, 2 fun-filled nights, 2 destinations of your choice, compliments of the Max Fortune Show. To anybody who's commenting in as we have them coming in, and feel free to call that number as Max had given you earlier, 844-220-2266 with questions. Let's keep rolling with the show. And we were talking about blogs. I want to talk about video blogs and doing video blogging.
Okay. We did want to say, or acknowledge from our Instagram page, Park again. Thank you for saying it's a great show.
Oh,
so wanted to comment on that. So thank you for. Hopefully you continue to tune in. Hopefully you like the page on Facebook Live or Instagram. You're watching on Instagram, so hopefully you're watching, you're liking the page there, thumbing it up. Hopefully you continue to watch. Hopefully this information is really good for you. So we really try to do that. And I'm sorry, we're going to talk about video blogs.
I wanted to go right into that because I really wanted to make sure we cover some of this stuff as we've gone over these different things. Video blogging. Yeah. So if you're not just necessarily write a blog, but actually promoting your book via video.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
It's big time. Yeah, video.
And you know, it's very simple to do in today's world with the technologies out there. You don't even need a bunch of expensive equipment. You can just have your mobile device and you start creating blogs. You start talking about the subjects in your book. And now you've got a video blog. You've got information. And again, the great thing about that is now you have something that's out there that's helping you get optimized. You know, if you're making sure the title is of the blog is there, So again, it's just really great for SEO, for search engine optimization. The video blog, YouTube. I mean, YouTube is a wonderful outlet if you're an author to get your message out there. And I can't say enough about being able to even leverage that. I mean, YouTube is now owned by Google, and those metrics out there for helping you get your book found is really important. So if you're an author out there and you don't have a video blog, now even going back to what we talked about earlier, having a video blog is kind of like we talked about having that written blog where you kind of start beginning to build the following. So you don't have to wait till your book is done to start a video blog. If you're writing, starting building an audience, start talking about, your subject. I mean, you don't want to give people everything, but you can talk about the subject matter that you're writing your book on, and you include that in your video. I mean, that's your video blog. It's just you talking about subjects and ideas that your book is covering. So, did I go ahead too much?
No.
Okay. You gave me that look like I went too far.
No, I just thought of something, and really, with the video content, it's really another way to be creative, to reach out to your market. And I'll re-emphasize that because sometimes we have to hear it multiple times, that when we're marketing, we want to get value out to the marketplace. So if you're not committed to reaching your audience, I assure you, your audience will not be committed to finding you. And so it's amazing when you're committed to using as many platforms as you can with a servant's heart to provide as much value as you can, to let people know what you are offering, how much more they find you. And it's amazing how that happens.
And you know what, even piggybacking on all this information we're talking about, as far as blogging, video blogging, written blogging, there's guest blogging. You can blog as a guest in someone else's page, so you don't always have to.
Sure.
I mean, you should definitely have your own blog,
Partnership.
and video blog, but you want to find other blogs. We talked about those niche categories, so you want to find other blogs that mirror your subject matter or that kind of overlaps your book topic, and you want to reach out to the person who's writing that blog and see if you can't write a blog for them, because again, anybody who's doing a show like this one, who is engaging audience, whether it's written or whatever, I mean, they're always looking for good information, good value. And, is our keyword. We need a value button that just lights up.
Ding, 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 ding. We're going to get that.
Yeah,
I want that. It's a mandatory must.
So,
value.
That's so blogging, being a guest blogger. So find opportunities to blog or to reach out to people who have a blog already, because a lot of times you can introduce yourself and your message to a new audience that way. Yep. So it's a great way to get your book out there. And so again, what we're aspiring to do here with the show today is to show you lots of different ways. There's so many different ways. If you have a big budget, this is so much easier. If you don't have the big budget, you do a little bit of work. You kind of follow some of these nuggets that we're giving you right now, and actually almost be whatever the budget is. You want to be able to do some of the big things, but you also want to do a ton of these little things that you can easily do and you can take over, because it even helps if you do have a publicist or a team of people. These kinds of things help them do their job better for you. So you really want to be making sure you take advantage of all of this information. So,
yeah. And I think the key ingredient, obviously when we're talking about someone who maybe lacks a budget for big marketing, I'll tell you right now that key ingredient is going to be passion. Passion for what you do, because you're going to want to be innovative and creative. And if you're innovative and creative, and you're passionate about your subject matter, you'll find unique ways to get the word out about what you're doing. And you've always talked about it, and one or two or both is either time or money, right? Or preferably both to get any kind of project off the ground. So that's the fuel for everything you want to do. So speaking to those out there who maybe are on a limited budget, don't be afraid to get out there with passion. Don't be afraid to market and promote and be creative. Like Max just mentioned, great one there, guest blogging, providing value on someone else's platform. That's a huge win for them, and that's a huge win for you as well. And you'll hear me talk a lot about partnership, strategic partnerships, and forming those alliances with people, that team mindset, and that's just a great one right there.
And you know what, I just thought about this too, not to cut you off, but I thought about if you can be innovative and creative, you could be persuasive. So, it sounded better in my mind.
Yeah. Well, here's one for you. If you're not innovative and creative, you're regurgitative.
Okay. All right.
And who wants to be that?
Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah, was that as bad as yours?
Maybe. No,
No,
I don't know.
That'd come.
Mine sounded better in my mind. So it sounded like a rhyme. Okay. Anyway, you get the idea. You get the point.
Yeah.
You know what? Max Fortune Show is recorded live.
It is.
Let's go down
It
there.
is. Max Fortune Show is recorded live, and we want to thank you, everybody who's chiming in on social media,
Yes.
as well as all you listeners out there who are going to watch this on replay as well. Please feel free to share the page. Our mission is to bring value, so we want to thank you for that, and feel free to call in. That number is 844-220-2266. Ask questions. You'll hear your voice recorded on the show here,
Yes.
so you can actually have that and listen to how you sound on the show yourself.
If
Or you
nothing more.
If nothing more. Or you can email the maxfortuneshow@gmail.com. And as always, again, that 3 days, 2 fun-filled nights. Nothing wrong with the vacation. I just came back from one, and we'd like to give you one as well. Compliments of the Max Fortune Show. So, Max, where are we at now? We're at
Talking about
what?
social searches and my blog guest, and my blog guest is one of those. It's a community of guest bloggers. It's free to join. You can sign up very easily. So again, we talked about that guest blogging. So that's a site you can go to and become a guest blogger on other people's blog sites. So again, that leads you or gives you opportunity to kind of get in front of a different audience, a new audience, an audience that you're not normally connected with. So definitely suggest you doing that. You know what I mean?
Sure. And the internet is a crazy, wild world out there. There's a lot of websites out there that offer a lot of different things, free services, some paid services, a lot of community services, types of things, different platforms that promote books, promote projects, that want to get the message out to people. So do not be afraid to Google search, Bing search, Yahoo search, whatever search engine you use, to look on there and find out some of those different sites that are out there that are available. And there's also different sites that you can actually put your ads on for books that will promote your book for you that way. Ads, promos, and things like that. That all matters.
It does.
It does. It does matter. And again, the behind the scenes of everything, I'm going to say it again because I think it's so important, is to know the root of what you're doing. Your marketing is to reach people.
Correct.
Your marketing is to reach your target audience, the individuals that you want to speak to. You want to be able to market, not just yelling down the hallway, but to really be able to speak to your audience. And that should be behind every bit of marketing you do. However you put your information out there, is to really reach out and touch your audience with value.
I agree, and there's so many different sites out there, new ones popping up constantly that will promote your book. So you just want to keep in mind some of these websites out there for promoting your book. Some of them are paid, some of them are free. You want to try to get a balance of some of them. Some you pay for, some are worthwhile paying for to get your message out there. But definitely want to get all the free ones because they're free. So definitely, as you're looking for different sites to join to align your book with, make sure you definitely have a blend of both of those. So definitely have a blend.
I got to tell you, I'm surprised we haven't talked about this one yet. But as a great marketing tool is having your own author website.
Yes.
Actually having a website for yourself that you actually have the information about your book. And that could be your blog page, part of your blog page could be on your website. But having an author's website where you actually can talk about your work, have your products for sale on there, have a shopping cart that people can purchase from, and really drive traffic to.
I think it's mission critical for, especially today, and everything you do, even everything you do should be driving people back to your website. Your social media stuff should be taking people back there. Your whatever you're doing, even if you're doing email signups and updates, you want to be able to include on your website some way for people to be able to join your newsletter or join your information that you want to disseminate out there on a regular basis. You also want to be able to have a place where you can post testimonial stories or videos that people who have read your book, can put on there, and so other people who are coming onto the site and finding you or discovering you through that way can also get access to that information. So I think it's really good. Having an author website is really a great way. I think it's a must for any author out there, and it's no reason why you can't or shouldn't have that.
Yeah, and I think just to really expound on that real quick, that author site, like everything else, should be a term that I don't know if I heard it somewhere, it just came to me now. Sticky, and it's really allowing people to get connected and stuck to what you're doing. When if they come to your website, getting attached to what you're doing, so they're going to come back. They're connected. Your social media stuff, connected. They're stuck on your product. They're stuck in your sphere of influence. That you want to make it to where people can cleave to it, I guess is a good word. That's the word of the day, cleave. They can attach to it. And having a newsletter, having those testimonies, having those videos are so important to allow people to get value, to come back for more, to keep coming back. And so social media, books, products, and services, all that stuff, sticky. You want to make it to where people can connect and find you anywhere and everywhere, drive traffic back to your website, and stay connected with you everywhere you go within your business sphere. You want to be able to provide value at every turn. You want to shine your light like the sun in all directions.
And you want to cleave, to receive, to achieve.
Yes! Woo! I tell you.
Yes, you want to do that.
Yes.
Also talking about, one of the other things that you definitely want to do other than cleaving and making your website sticky is you definitely want to be able to get out there and do as many speaking engagements as you can. Talk about your book anywhere and everywhere. I think we were talking about this even before the show began, how important it is to just get out there and get your message in front of people, an audience, preferably people who kind of are like-minded, who kind of resonate with what your story is or what your message is in your book. You want to definitely find any kind of speaking engagements that you can, and a lot of times there are places to do free speaking engagements, and you can start off that way and eventually get to the point where you're charging as you're polishing your message, and as you get out there a couple of times. Now again, you just start ratcheting up your situation to where you can actually start commanding money to speak. But again, you want to make sure you have some free ones to kind of polish it up and kind of get get a good presentation out there going. So definitely want to add that. That's a great way, because also at a book signing, some book signings you get an opportunity to speak. Sometimes you don't. But again, anytime you get an opportunity to speak about your book, you definitely want to take advantage of that and utilize that. So
be creative. Success tip: if you have nowhere else to speak at, go out for karaoke. They'll give you a microphone, and before the song comes on, you let them know you're a book author and what website to go to.
There you go.
Be creative.
There you go.
I'm joking, but it's a creative way. What I'm saying is, in all seriousness, there's always a way. There's always a way. So when somebody says, I don't know where to go, I don't know how to, there's always a way. Because I believe when you're passionate about something, you find a way.
You do.
You find a way. You find a way to get appearances. You find a way to get speaking engagements. You find a way to get news information out there to people. You're passionate about it. You're passionate about your media kit. You'll get all that stuff done. You're passionate about doing those press releases and getting your profile out there because you believe in what you're doing and you believe in your work.
I agree.
Yeah. So you'll find ways. You just will. There's been so many great stories out there, Max, of people that have just found creative ways to market and promote. They didn't let all the minutia of, I don't know, budget, I don't know. They went and did it. And they found creative ways. And then they got around people who knew what they were doing on top of that.
Yeah, and it is just really important to find different ways to get your book out there.
Yeah.
In today's world, there's so much technology out there that makes it much more possible than it used to be 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, to be honest with you. So just utilize every aspect you have. Again, even we talked about turning your cell phone on to be able to video blog and kind of get that information out there. You just never know who your message is going to get in front of. And you also want to be able to create, we talked about having that author website, how important that was. You want to be able to create a lot of multimedia type of ways, a lot of different ways for people to interact with you, through podcast, video. Now here's there's podcasts out there, and a podcast is not really a video, it's really your audio track. So a lot of times there are websites on YouTube, on the web, that you can take your YouTube video, extract the audio, and create a podcast, all from the same information. So here's one of the things that a really great tip. So if you write a blog, okay, then you just turn your camera on and repeat your blog or talk about that blog. Now you took your written blog, turn it into a video blog. Then you extract the audio from that blog, and now you got a podcast. So from one piece of content, you created 3 pieces of content that you can put out there in 3 different mediums, and you're promoting your book very simply, very easy. Again, just writing that one blog. So it's a way to get some mileage out of the information that you have. So again, we're talking about being creative and how important it is to be creative in different ways. And again, a lot of times people don't seek coaching, but should. And as we're kind of wrapping up this show on this topic, I want to put a plug in for coaching, not just because I'm a coach myself or we do coaching here at Fortune Publishing, but it's sometimes it will cut out the learning curve, because sometimes getting 1 or 2, 3 quick tips could change your entire strategy, your entire marketing strategy, the entire success of your book. So you want to definitely reach out to people who can help you do that. I mean, you were mentioning that earlier, how important it is. I mean, again, I say that team thing that you said, the dream team, have a dream, get a team.
Have a dream, form a team.
Have a dream, form a team. Okay?
So important. I can't think of one time in my life, Max, honestly, where I was really passionate about something that I really wanted to do that I didn't bring in professionals. At any point. Working out in the gym, I hired a personal trainer. And then as I got better at it, I hired a personal trainer that was more advanced. It was where I wanted to be at. And all across the board, professional athletes, the highest paid sports athletes in the world, what do every one of them have?
Trainer.
Coaches and trainers and people that are around them, so they can focus on doing what they do, and the coach can focus on seeing things that they necessarily can't see and pointing out blind spots, so they can focus on the work that they need to do, and the coach handles the rest to make sure that they are where they need to be at to get to where they want to go. Tiger Woods, one of the greatest golfers of all time, what did he have? A golf instructor.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
I agree.
And you find out the successful people surround themselves with successful people and people that have a vested interest to see them succeed. It's the unsuccessful individual who sits alone in a room and tries to figure it out all by themselves because they just do not want to include anybody in their life for fear that they might actually have to admit that they do not know something. And I believe that's behind the scenes why sometimes we don't reach out for help. We don't want to admit that, well, I don't want to let people know that I don't know. Well, it's not about that. It's about finding those people that know some things that maybe you or I do not know. And I was watching a show the other day, and it was a YouTube video, I think it was. It was on social media. It was on Facebook. It was a commencement speech, and the professor there was some guy on television. I forget who he was. But he said this one thing to all the students. He said, remember, every single person you talk to knows something that you do not know. Every single person knows something that you do not know. A bricklayer out there knows something about laying bricks that you and I do not know, right? That mechanic knows certain things about the combustion engine and how a car works to make that work that maybe you and I do not know. And a book coaches, business coaches, maybe knows something that each and every one of us out there do not know. So welcome that.
Yes, and so what we want to do on that note, I want to make sure before we go off, and I have enough time to do this. So yes. So
You've
what we
got
like
it.
to do
I believe in it.
Is we'd like you to join us at the Fortune Publishing Group Free Writers Workshop. Again, it's a free writers workshop. It's going to be September the 5th, 2017. There you go. He said value. We need that value button. For more information, the sign up call, or you can call us toll free at 844-417-4177 to sign up for that free writers workshop. We talked about bringing value. It's September 5th. It's in Owings Mills, Maryland. Again, it's at 10220 South Dofield Road. Call us in, and so you can sign up for that. It's absolutely free. We're doing a free workshop to bring value.
And Max, what time is that?
It's actually going to be, it's not on here, but it is for 7 o'clock. I believe it's 7 to 8:30 on September the 5th, but it's not on my notes, so someone is going to pay for that. But it's 7 o'clock, 7 to 8:30 on Tuesday, September the 5th.
Got it.
So,
All right.
So we want to make sure that you get the coaching that you need and the help that you need. So again, for every week, we want you to go to the show, click on the picture, go to xmaxfortune.com, click on the picture for the show, and that will take you directly to our YouTube channel. Simply hit the subscribe button. And for more information or become a guest on the show, call us toll free at 844-220-2266. Thank you for watching the Max Fortune Show. We appreciate you as a viewer. And Joe, it's been a pleasure once again.
Pleasure, and it's our mission to bring value. So thank you, each and every one of you out there.
Yes.
And we look forward to seeing you all again
Next week. Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 o'clock. Go to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Max Fortune Show. So just go to YouTube and do that. And so we'll see you next week, next Thursday. All right. See you, everybody.